What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new video. Hope you guys are doing well. Today I'm going to be going over a theory I had for Pokemon Legends Arceus. So grab a snack, grab a drink, get comfy, sit back, and let's get into the video. Now, we all know that Arceus has 17 plates of 17 different types that are found in the Pokemon universe. Obviously there is no normal type plate, and this is where I sort of got my brain thinking, right? Where did these plates come from? How did Arceus come to gain the power to change types? Obviously it is sort of like the god of all Pokemon, but my theory links Arceus to the Regis, because the leader of the Regis, Regigigas, has the power to create, and he has created 5 Regis that we know of. So that is the basis for my theory, and let's dive straight into it. So there is some information we can find on Bulbapedia about the plates themselves. So let's see what it says. When each plate is obtained in Generation 4, a different engraving appears on the back of the plate, which reveals part of the myth of the creation of the Pokemon universe. No engraving is tied to a specific plate. They will appear each one at a time depending on how many plates the player has found so far, with the 9th plate found using the same engraving as the first. In Platinum, after talking to the hiker on the 2nd floor of the Canalave Library, a book on the 2nd floor with the engravings written in it will be left by the hiker the player met in Orbra Mine during the Arceus triggered event. These engravings are: when the universe was created, its shards became this plate. The power of the defeated giants infuses this plate. 2 beings of time and space set free from the original one. 3 beings were born to bind time and space. 2 make matter and 3 make spirit, shaping the world. The original one breathed alone before the universe came. The powers of plates are shared among Pokemon. The rightful bearer of the plate draws from the plate it holds. Now, found on Bulbapedia is sort of the history of the Regis, or the legendary titans, as they're referred to. So let's have a look at what it says. The legendary titans have relatively concrete lore compared to other legendary Pokemon. Long ago, Regigigas is said to have pulled the continents into place and then created the titans from an icy mountain, rocks, magma, pure electric energy, and crystallized dragon energy. In its image, Regigigas was apparently worshipped at one time alongside the Hoenn Titans by ancient people. Due to it being so powerful, Regigigas was sealed away in the basement of the Snowpoint Temple, while the ones it created were spirited to the far-off Hoenn region and locked away in 3 stone structures, which were then sealed themselves. A message was left in Braille to whomever would come to discover the sealed chamber, whose only access was via an underwater cavern, in the hopes that one day the Pokemon could be tamed. Regieleki and Regidrago were sealed in the Split Decision ruins located in the Crown Tundra, due to fearing the destruction and terror they have caused on the ancient people. Now, I believe that Regigigas created a Regi for every single type and gave a piece of himself to each Regi, which gave them the power to create the Pokemon we see across the Sinnoh region. And that would explain why there is no normal plate, because Regigigas already had the power to create, because he created the Regis. The people of Sinnoh then began worshipping the Regis and sort of building them like temples and shrines. This in turn made Arceus very jealous, because, you know, he is the one who essentially created everything and gave Regigigas the power to create the Regis. So Arceus then took the plates from the Regis, which in turn infuriated them to such an extent that they then went on a rampage, destroying everything across the Sinnoh region, from humans to Pokemon to villages. And so, to help combat this, Arceus used the power of the plates to seal each of the Regis away in the temples that the humans had built to once worship them, in turn making those their prisons, and then sealing Regigigas away in Snow Point Temple, but with an added layer of sort of like security to make sure that he could never get out. And that security was that to open the temple or to get to Regigigas, you had to use you had to have the other Regis, because those were then the key, or keys rather, to getting into the temple. Now let's have a look at what these other types of Regis might look like. Firstly, we're going to start off with the 6 core Regis, the ones that we already know exist. First up, we have Regigigas, the leader of the Regis, the one who created all of them. He's obviously a normal type, and there is no normal plate because, as said previously, he already had the power to create. Regice, the ice type Regi and the holder of the icicle plate. Regirock, the rock type Regi and the holder of the stone plate. Registeel, the steel type Regi and the holder of the iron plate. Regidrago, the dragon type Regi and the holder of the Draco plate. Regieleki, the electric type Regi and the holder of the Zap plate. Regiaqua, the water type Regi and the holder of the Splash plate. Regifay, the fairy type Regi and the holder of the Pixie plate. Regiflare, the fire type Regi and the holder of the flame plate. Regiflora, the grass type Regi and the holder of the meadow plate. Regigale, the flying type Regi and the holder of the sky plate. Regigeist, the ghost type Regi and the holder of the spooky plate. Regimuscle, the fighting type Regi and the holder of the fist plate. Regiораcle, the psychic type Regi and the holder of the mind plate. Regiquake, the ground type Regi and the holder of the earth plate. Regiswarm, the bug type Regi and the holder of the insect plate. Regivenom, the poison type Regi and the holder of the toxic plate. Regivoid, the dark type Regi and the holder of the dread plate. I hope you guys enjoyed my theory. It is my first one. Hopefully I'll get better at doing them. But yeah, had a lot of fun thinking about this, trying to piece everything together. And of course, I wouldn't have been able to show off what the different Regis would have looked like without the images that I showed. I couldn't really find the source for them, because I just found them on Google Images. So please, if you guys know who it was that did these, please can you drop a link in the comments, and then I can add that link to the description to give the artist the credit that they deserve. But yeah, thanks for watching, had a lot of fun doing this, and I hope to see you in the next one.